There we go.
Anyways, man, we should be like casual, you know, we shouldn't just be too much business. Okay. So is that a like real background behind you?
Yeah,
okay,
it exists.
Okay, that's good too. Yeah, I have actually like a big ass aquarium, like 1,000 liters, but it's in the other right of the apartment, so you know connection is not good there. Otherwise, I mean, I was thinking of actually having like a floater with hellotax or something, but anyways. Okay, guys, so we're going live. I'm gonna post the link on our socials, and then we can kick it off.
Perfect. Are you going live onto LinkedIn as well?
Exactly. I'm gonna post there so people actually can watch the event. Okay. Okay, guys, so we're ready. So let's start. Okay, guys, do you see my screen? Hey, do you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Perfectly.
Okay, guys, so thank you for joining our next webinar. Q4 started, so we should do a webinar for Q4. So it's Amazon Q4 success recipes. No, global expansion. Unfortunately, the speaker Ryan is not able to attend because he lost his voice. He's sick. Then we're going to talk about the PPC tips. Sarra Maatallah from e-Comas is going to cover that. Then we're going to talk about product reviews, which is really important. You know, Colleen is going to cover that from eComEngine, and then John is going to cover the customer support. But customer support is very obviously a broad topic. They're doing something very unique, but he's going to cover that. And unfortunately, you know, since Ryan is not coming, I'll need to take his spot, and I'm going to talk about the most unsexy topic in the industry, taxes. But regardless of if you want it or not, I mean, if you don't have VAT, if you don't do your taxes, I mean, you're getting trouble. So that's a must, and you need to comply with that. So here is just a little spotlight for our sponsors, Extreme Power Brands. They're a partnership as a service agency and a network with 1,000 companies in the space. They help out e-commerce service providers to grow through partnerships in the space, and they're doing a giveaway, free partnership audits for free, value €2,000. And we're going to have more giveaways, but we're going to mention that at the end of the event before the Q&A session. So here are the topics for today's agenda. First, I'm going to talk about VAT compliance in the EU, how to overcome blocker number 1. Then once you have taken care of the VAT, then of course you need to grow your brand, and there is no better experts than e-Comas for that, because they're doing that for a lot of companies for a lot of time, and they'll be able to give you some advertising tips for a profitable Q4, because Q4 is the most important quarter of the year. So if you don't make the most out of it, I mean, you're not doing it right. After that, Colleen is going to talk about how to earn or you need to show how to maximize reviews during the holiday season, because of course sales holiday season, you need to have a better review so you can make more sales. And in the end, if Amazon is making your life sour, you need to get a candy. So sour candy is gonna help you with that. No, John is gonna talk about how to avoid issues which can actually ruin your Q4 performance. So see, everything is centered around Q4. And at the end, we're gonna have a Q&A session. So if you have any questions, feel free to write them in the chat. We have several questions sent from people who are not able to attend the event. So we're gonna have that at the end. So, and since Ryan is not here, I'm gonna start with the taxes. So right now, I mean, everybody knows that the US is the biggest market, but very few companies are actually missing the point that selling in the biggest market doesn't mean that you're actually is the best thing. You know, you need to sell sometimes in other markets which are very, very, I mean, profitable, but a lot of companies don't know that. And I'm going to talk about Europe. So people would ask, okay, why should they care about Europe? You know, okay, so here is few things that some of you might probably don't know. I mean, Europe has a 700 million population, you know, 400 of those are actually over 18. these are 27 new countries, meaning that you can have like the whole US plus another 70 millions if you're, let's say, a US company. If you're selling in your home market, US or anywhere outside of Europe, and you're selling locally, you would be able to transform your brand into a global company because you're selling to a whole new continent. You'll be surprised, but a lot of big companies are not selling in Europe. And so obviously, if you move to Europe, you do something which your competitors are not doing. So you have a big chance of actually taking them over if you're doing that. And of course, the last but not the least, selling to a new market, you'll be buying more stock. And when you buy more stock, you actually can reduce the cost for your supplier. So all of these things are actually a very good thing, and you should consider them when you're expanding to Europe. But of course, somebody would ask, okay, I mean, I've heard that Europe is hard. I mean, I go there only on vacation. Of course, I mean, you can see the views, we have nice views, it's perfect in the summer, but it's also good to make business. In e-commerce, it's still early compared to the USA. But of course, there's blockers which are stopping some people, or making them reluctant to do that. So the first and the most important, of course, is having the product or having the right product. So obviously, you can expand to Europe if you're already selling in your home country, and there is multiple tools like ZoneGuru, Helium 10, Scout that can obviously help you out to see your competition. You can do the marketing research, and you'll be surprised that there is a lot of markets where you have no or very, very little competition, and you can actually make a lot of profit even though you do less sales. So there are tools which can help you out with that. And then is where hellotax comes in. And this is what we do. We help out with the value-added tax, which is like the sales tax in the States. And this is something that you must have if you want to sell on Amazon. If you don't have a VAT registration, you cannot set up your account. As simple as that. Another thing that you should take into account is the product compliance. The product compliance sometimes comes before the VAT, because if your products are not compliant, it might take you a few months until you get that. But the good thing is that I have a partner network of 1,000 companies, and I have companies who can help you out with that. So after you deal with the VAT, which we help you with, we have customs and logistics partner who can help you import your stock and deal with the logistics within Europe. And of course, the last but not the least, and to be honest, it's probably one of the most important thing, is the language barrier. Because if you got number 1 and 2 right, if you use Google Translate or any other software to translate your listings or products, you're not going to succeed. I've been selling in Europe for 10 years on 20 markets, and I can tell you that translations are very important. Sarra is going to talk more about that because they work with a lot of companies in all the markets, and they know that better than me, to be honest. But these are the things: having the product, do your research, set up your compliance, set up your VAT, and we'll help you with the customs and the logistics for our partners. And of course, we have partners who can help you out with the translation. So these are the things that you need to consider when you're expanding to Europe. And here's some stats which are not up to date for last year, but this is how big is the European marketplace. So see, that's like Amazon, eBay, Allegro, and there is probably another 20 marketplaces. So, and the thing is, European market is still early now. It's less competitive than many markets, especially the US. So what I know from a lot of our partners is that it's hard to establish yourself because it takes probably 2 to 3 months. But once you establish yourself, it's a long-term revenue stream for you and your products. So, and here, let's talk about, what we're doing at hellotax. I mean, just to give you some brief introduction about me, I used to be an e-commerce seller. I used to run a private label supplement business for 10 years. I was selling across Europe, and I was a client of hellotax. And I sold my business 2 years ago, and the founders of hellotax, Christian and Christoph, they're ex-Amazon sellers, and they told me, okay, Nick, you're building a partner network, for your own brands. We've been doing that for a long time. Can you do that for us? And of course, I said, okay, man, of course I'm going to do that. It's a new challenge. And here we are today, 2 years after that. We've done so many webinars. We're helping sellers. But the one thing that we keep on doing is actually we help online sellers to expand into Europe. And VAT compliance is the first blocker. We have 2,000 clients, 12,000 subscribers, and we're tailored for Amazon sellers. And that's what we do. And somebody would ask, okay, but what is VAT? what do I need to know? So this is a brief summary of what you need to know if you're planning to sell into the European Union. So you need to know your VAT liability from the past, from the present in all European markets. So where you're operating or selling. You need to register for VAT in one or more markets in Europe and file returns based on their different calendars. But just remember one thing, to start selling in Europe, you just need one VAT. You don't need multiple VATs. Now, explain a little later why, you can start with one instead of doing multiple ones. The other thing is you need to have a complete view of the movements of your stock, because this needs to be reported as well in the filings that you do to the local legislation. And the last thing, you need to have a complete visibility across all your sales channels. So if you're selling on Amazon, Shopify, you need to obviously know your transactions, know your sales, and need to report those. So this is your liability. A lot of times people ask me, okay, Nick, where should we start in Europe? I went to Amazon and they told me, go and do the panning. Okay, don't listen to Amazon. No, they make fees when you do like multiple wave-based and all this stuff. So markets are different in Europe. So the easy markets to start are like Poland, Germany, and Italy. And Spain is the hardest market because they require original documentation, notary, and all this kind of stuff, which takes more time, and it could take up to 4 to 5 months. So when you go to Europe, Germany is the most demanded market. They have a lot of things that make it easier for sellers. So this is the go-to market in Europe. And somebody will ask, okay, but why do I need VAT? Now, can I just sell without reporting? Of course you can, but if you get caught, you get in trouble. On Amazon, you have no choice. If you either provide the VAT number or you're not going to set up the account. So it's simple as that. But the thing is that it's actually easier to sell in Europe compared to like a year and a half ago. Before, we used to have the so-called distance selling threshold, which was different for each country. You need to monitor that. And whenever this happened, you need to do a VAT registration. Right now, it's much easier. You can, after you make 10,000 in sales in Europe, you can opt in for the so-called OSS, which allows you to have one VAT number, one OSS registration, and this package allows you to sell to all European Union countries from one location, doing one VAT report in the country where you have the VAT in the OSS. So just to summarize, it's much easier compared to before. And the other reason why you need VAT is if you're storing goods in a single market. Now, if you store goods in one country, you need one VAT. If you store goods in 5 countries, you need 5 VAT. So if you're using Amazon FBA in multiple countries, you would need to have multiple VAT registrations. And this has not changed, and this is still valid today. So some good news, because Brexit happened like more than a year ago. A lot of companies stopped selling in EU and vice versa. But the good thing is that since March, they enabled the so-called EFN, the European Fulfillment Network, which allows sellers to make deliveries and sales from the UK to the EU, and from the EU to the UK, as long as their sale price of their product is under 150 euros. So if you do that, you'll be able to set up accounts, you can enable the marketplaces, and you can sell across UK from the EU or the EU from the UK, which is very good news, because a lot of companies were doing millions and they stopped selling after Brexit. So this is good news for everybody who did not know that. And like I said, what is our solution? What we recommend? The one thing that we always recommend is the following. When you go to Europe, don't start with multiple markets. And I'll tell you why you should do that. Because if you start and set up the VAT in multiple markets without knowing how much sales you're gonna do, you would need to file reports, you would need to pay the fees and everything. And this is not the smart way to do things, because you can do it the other way around. Just get one VAT in Germany or UK. We always recommend Germany for a few reasons. Amazon Germany is the second biggest market after Amazon US. It's the central location in Europe in regards to deliveries. They have a few things that a lot of companies don't know. So if you're like a US company, there is like an advantage for you guys, because there's a specific tax authority which deals with US company applications for VAT, meaning that you're going to get the VAT much quicker. And a lot of companies don't know that. And the last thing is, they accept documents in English, so you don't need to do translation. So if you're an English speaker, you're saving on that, or it's actually it's easier for you. So this is what we recommend. We set up the VAT for you. We have a customs and logistics partner we can recommend for the rest. If you're selling outside of Amazon, you would need to have the OSS registration, which is gonna allow you to do B2C sales from your home country, which would be Germany in this case, to anybody across the European Union. But the good news here is if you're a non-EU company, you don't need the OSS because Amazon is using their own one-stop shop registration, and they make deliveries through that. So you just need one VAT and that's it. And of course, you would need to file the monthly VAT filings or the quarterly OSS filings if you have that. But this is as simple as that. One VAT registration, one VAT filing if you're in Amazon, if you're non-EU. And if you're selling outside of Amazon, you would need the add-on of the OSS. But that's all you need to set it up. And once you set up that, you can actually start and do sales across all the European Union markets, and you can see how your sales are going. If you're doing great in Italy, then it would make sense to set up the VAT there and set up the local fulfillment and storage. If you're doing great in France, you can do that as well, but just do it step by step. In this case, now you'll be able to optimize because there's localization, all kinds of things in Europe. But like I said at the beginning, it's much more profitable and less competitive than the US and some other markets. So this is what we do. And just to give you a little feedback about what we do at hellotax, we have a SaaS solution which was built, like I said, by ex-Amazon sellers. We have 70 employees fully remote across the globe. And we have tax advisors in each market. We can do the digital registration and the returns for everybody. We connect with Amazon, Shopify, we get your data, we file the report. So your only responsibility is obviously to connect your Amazon or Shopify account and file and pay your VAT returns. And that's it. We have a free portal, but I'm gonna have that in the follow-up email so you can check it out and you can see what we're doing for other sellers. And I hope that people didn't disappear. And I'm actually surprised. Now, when I started, there were 6 people, and now we have 38. So, okay, so everybody likes taxes, guys. So, but see, regardless of if you like them or not, I mean, you just need to do that. I mean, if you don't do that, you get in trouble. And once you establish yourself, then you need somebody to help out to scale in Europe because, like I said, less competition, bigger profit. But to go to that stage, you need somebody who has experience, knowledge, and knows how to grow these brands. And that's why we have Sarra today from e-Comas. They've been doing that for a long time. I'll let her introduce herself and tell you guys what they do in e-Comas and how they help out brands after we help the unsexy topic first. So thank you, Sarra, for joining our webinar. And please tell us more about you and e-Comas.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Nick, and thank you everyone for participating today. So I hope everyone's seeing my screen. So I start. Okay, great, thank you. So today I'm here to talk about advertising and especially some top tips for profitable Q4. It's a big season. We have a lot of events, so there are so many tips that we can use to maximize the sales and the performance. So the agenda, I will be going briefly to introduce e-Comas, my company, then through the topics, top tips to boost advertising performance, presenting a strategy for Q4 to boost your advertising, and more tips, in fact, a lot of tips. So briefly about myself, as I'm the speaker, so I'm Sarra Maatallah. I'm a senior team leader and senior account manager at e-Comas. I have plus 8 years experience in project management, marketing, and actually especially e-marketing and e-commerce in general. My main background is advertising, and this is why I am actually why I'm here today to talk about this field, which is very interesting, and it helps a lot all brands grow on e-commerce in general. To talk more about e-Comas, so I'm based actually in Luxembourg, so it's around 7:17 now here PM. We have offices in India, in Madagascar, and soon to be in the US. Currently, we are over 15 employees, We are actually to tell everyone that we are still independent company, and this is why we have it here, like mentioned. We are an Amazon Ads verified partner, and actually we work all around marketplaces, Amazon marketplaces globally, everywhere in all the continents, in many business categories. As you see, we mentioned here some of them. Thank you again for hellotax for inviting us today, and for Nick for presenting everything and preparing the agenda. So our mission, e-Comas, we enable businesses to thrive on all e-commerce platforms through outstanding sales and excellence in brand presence. And our vision is to be the most customer-centric e-commerce agency in North America and in Europe. And we're working towards realizing that. So to present actually the first slide about the top tips I actually thought about and selected. Of course, there are plenty of tips to help any brand grow on Amazon, but especially to maximize their profit during this big peak season. So first of all, before actually setting up any advertising campaigns or before selecting the products you will be promoting during the peak events, and here we are talking about Prime, which is actually happening now, which is yesterday and today, and soon in November, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and then we have Christmas deals in December. So the first thing actually to think about is to make sure you select products and promotions for advertising that they are retail ready. And when we talk about retail ready, it means your copy is ready in terms of having a title, bullet points, product description, enhanced content, all your images, video, and of course, you're setting up your brand store, which is the second point, updating your brand store ahead of the peak event. And this is here, you're updating everything about your banners, your promotions, banners, discounts, banners, prioritizing the products and deals on the top rows of your pages, sub-pages on the brand store, and of course, creating deals pages where you can show the end consumer about your products and deals and promotions. Of course, also, when planning your advertising, you need to choose top movers. And here we talk about the best sellers, because this will help you to maximize more profits during the peak events. And of course, you need to boost your brand awareness by highlighting your upcoming deals ahead in your ad campaigns. And here we talk about building more traffic towards your brand store, by actually promoting the products you have in deals and in discounts ahead of the event, before the event starts. Another tip, which is very, very important and actually very valid, which is actually having your products that you are going to promote and you have deals in stock and available. So it's very important to make sure during the peak events that you have enough stock to cover, because like now Prime, it's going crazy. We have a lot of brands now and categories actually booming. And it's very important that we have enough stock that the customer, whenever they see the deal, they go and they find the product available to buy. When running, of course, your advertising campaigns during this event, you will have a lot of traffic coming in. And it's very important that you spread your budget wisely during the event days to make sure you're not running out of budget, because it will be a bit critical if you're out of budget and the customer will not see actually the product and deals because it's not visible for them. The ad cannot display if you don't have enough budget. And of course, related to the budget is the bids, because the performance depends on the marketplace, it depends on the place, on the continent. So you have different performance per hour during the day. So it's very important also to manage your bids carefully to increase and decrease it during the peak performance per hour during the day. And this is actually to be and to stay actually competitive and drive more traffic and sales on the right time to help conversion. And the last tip in this page is to make sure to benefit from these events, the Prime Days now, the Black Friday, some Cyber Monday coming, Christmas, or any kind of event by remarketing all engaged shoppers, because you will find out from your data that you have a lot of shoppers that have seen maybe your products, your PDPs, your deals, but they didn't buy. So it's very important to plan to remarket and retarget all those shoppers to remind them that they actually have seen the products, didn't buy yet, to come back and buy from you. So this is mainly top tips all around actually preparing your brand store, having enough stock, selecting the right products to maximize your profit and conversion. Take care and be careful about the budget actually during the events day to cover most of the day, and also to in terms of bidding, to know when to bid, when to increase and decrease your bidding, and of course to use all the data that this event can gather for you to remarket and retarget your shoppers to come back from you to your product, and to be more loyal shoppers for your brand. Moving to next slide, I will be more briefly here presenting this three-phased advertising strategy, which I see very important to help build actually the traffic and maximize your sales during the events. And as I put here, we have the Prime, the Black Friday, the Christmas. So it's very important actually to go through these three phases, which are the lead up, which can happen 1 to 3 weeks before the event starting, the lead in, which is during the event days, and the lead out, which is after the event. So 1, 2 weeks or more after the event, depends on your budget and your, of course, strategy. So for the lead up, it's more to help shoppers start to engage with you and with Amazon by showing them or bringing traffic to your products that they will be in deals during the event. Lead in, which is during the event, there will be millions of customers coming and checking the right categories, products to buy and see discounts. So here will be actually a strategy to be more there, visible, to bid aggressively in order to win your placement in the ads, placements in the first search results and pages. The lead out, as I was talking in my previous slide, is actually to continue engaging the shopper who has seen your products but didn't buy during the event, that he will come back and buy from your brand. In the next slide, I will be going more into a bit of details regarding this three-phased strategy to give more insights about what type of campaigns and what to do exactly. So more in the lead up phase, which is 1 to 3 weeks before the event happens, it's very important to launch sponsored ads and DSP ads. And this is more to increase brand awareness and consideration and to bring traffic to your products in deals. And here we can launch sponsored brands, sponsored products, sponsored brand video campaigns to target more branded keywords, to target more the category keywords, and also the competitive keywords and generic. Also to launch sponsored display ads, and here to target top sellers, ASINs, in order to grow your own page views. And the DSP, of course, it's more for remarketing and increase reach. So it's very important also through this stage is to test different assets and creatives, because here you will be bringing more traffic and building more awareness about your products that will be in deals. So by switching and testing some banners, creative assets, and see how much performance and impressions you get through them. And of course, you direct that to your store pages to build more cross-selling. And again, during this phase, the campaigns you will launch, it's always better and to add ASINs which are coming in the deals in the upcoming event, or actually if you don't have any deals happening, it's still this strategy valid because it will help you to more boost the performance of your bestsellers and top movers. So by building this strategy and building your traffic to your store pages and to the product that you will be running in deals, you will be having some base and some engaged customers that they will come and visit during the lead-in phase, which is more the events days. And we can talk more specifically about yesterday and today. And this is what we were doing with the brands we were working with. So in this phase, during the event, we keep launching the same campaigns, but it's more different targeting and strategies, which will lead more to purchase and conversion here. So this is more to target competitors, who are similar to your bestsellers and the products you're running in deals. Also to target actually the campaigns to go directly to your deals pages in the brand store. And again, to keep adding the same ASINs and products, because this is the products that you're selling during this event. So this phase is more to drive purchase and conversion. And this is very important here to keep your budget throughout the day and be sure that it's covering most of hours of the days when you have conversion, and also your bidding strategy to cover most of the performing hours during the day and the night. The lead out is actually after the event ends. It's more to set up strategy campaigns where you can increase more your brand search coverage to convert returning customers, and of course to remarket your audience that they didn't buy during the event. So here it's more to use previous learnings from the previous phases and drive traffic to your store in order to help you for cross-selling and to remarket all the engaged shoppers. So this is more or less an easy strategy to structure actually your products and deals, your targets, your audience, and your goal behind every campaign you are running in order to maximize traffic before the event's day and to build more base of engaged customers during the event and after the event as well. Moving next slide to actually, this will be my final slide regarding this topic to present more, which I find very important for tips to plan again for your advertising strategy. First one is to optimize every element. And here we talk about your keyword strategy, your audience strategy, budget planning, and in order to stay live during the event and adjust them based on performance. And what do we mean here? It means not only about setting up everything and leave it going, but actually going and checking what are you doing, what are your KPIs, what is your click-through rate, your conversion rate, your ROAS, your ACOS, and of course adjust the budget and the bidding based on the performance during the day, the event day, of course. The second tip is to make sure your brand store is up to date with all your bestseller products and deals and all your creative assets and videos. And this is, of course, before the event to help bring that brand, that awareness that you are products and deals coming, that you have a new maybe launched collection, that you have a new season, some discounts. So it's very important that you have your brand store, which represents your brand and will boost your brand awareness and visibility to be always up to date and having all the last and recent assortments in there with the recent lifestyle and creatives. The third tip is to assess your ASIN's performance in both automatic and manual campaigns. And here, of course, by assessing your ASIN's performance, you will see which product is bringing you more impressions, click-through rate, and of course, conversion, and you know which product you're promoting, you will be bidding more on. So it's very important to assess your product and see which product will perform better if, of course, your strategy is more conversion rather than brand awareness and visibility. And to make sure, of course, that all these products are in stock and available. The fourth and the last tip I'm presenting today is to experiment and analyze most of the available opportunities in order to maximize the performance. And here we talk about testing placements, testing creatives, testing your bidding, messaging, keywords. So everything from all of these factors matter in turning actually your campaign from a regular campaign into a very successful campaign and in maximizing your traffic and help you to increase your sales during these peak events. So thank you very much again. For today, I hope these tips are helpful, and please feel free to reach out to me or anyone from my colleagues. This is the main email address of our sales department, and this is also the barcode that you can actually directly contact the company, and we can help you, and we're offering with Nick today a free 30 minutes audit of your Amazon account, and to help you, of course, maximize your sales and performance during this season. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. And guys, take advantage of the giveaway, because you have the VAT. Now you need to see, if your account is good or not. If not, they can help you out. And let's say you've done the first 2 steps. You have the VAT, you're scaling, you're growing, but then you realize that something is not good. You're making a lot of sales, and suddenly sales are going down. And there's things that probably don't know, but Colleen is gonna tell you more about that, because it's more than sales, VAT, customs, and logistics. There are things that you need to do right. If not, everything would fall apart. So thank you, Colleen, for joining us today. Please introduce yourself and eComEngine, and tell us in the audience what you guys are doing and how it helps others.
Sure. Thank you so much, Nick.
Welcome.
My name is Colleen Quattlebaum, and I'm based in Richmond, Virginia. This is the virtual skyline of Richmond, Virginia in the US. And I'm the director of marketing for eComEngine. And our main tool is Feedback 5. We have a couple of other tools as well, but that's kind of the heart of what I'm talking about today, is about feedback and reviews. So many people know eComEngine because of our tool Feedback 5 that's been around for about 12 years in the industry. So yeah, but I know the holiday season is upon us. We're in 4th quarter, and so a lot of people ask, how can I maximize my reviews either before the holiday season, or when you're getting all of those holiday sales, it's the biggest time of year. How can you make sure that you also see a big spike in your reviews, just like you see a spike in your orders? So a couple things I'm going to mention is that recent reviews matter. So most people are focused on the quantity of reviews and the quality, but make sure that you're also focused on always getting recent reviews. Recent reviews show that your product is still relevant in the market, especially when someone is comparing your product to your competitor. If you have a lot of recent reviews, then that will show that you're more relevant. So don't rest on your laurels. Once you have several hundred reviews, it's important to continuously always get more reviews for your product. So the formula really is a mixture of quality, quantity, and recent reviews that leads to success. And before I get into some tips, I really just want to always highlight, that it's most important that you are staying compliant with Amazon rules. It's not worth risking suspension and, manipulating the review process, or, getting fake reviews. Amazon has a lawsuit out there against about 10,000 Facebook groups that were trying to generate fake reviews. So hopefully nobody on this call was involved in that, but never, ever, ever offer any incentives for reviews or ask specifically for a positive review. You cannot do that. The musts that you must do are, you have to send your review request within 30 days of the order completion. You need to include the 17-digit order ID, and make sure that your review request is in the buyer's language of choice. So Amazon buyers in their settings can say, regardless of what marketplace they're in, they can say what their language preference is. And the Amazon Request a Review button that is found in Seller Central automatically translate the request for you. So as Nick had mentioned earlier, Google Translate doesn't always translate properly. So Amazon has already figured that out, and they will automatically translate if you're using the Request a Review button that's found in Seller Central. And the last thing is, make sure that you're only requesting one time per order. You don't want to bother buyers any more than once with that review request. All right, so what are some things that you can do now to maximize reviews for the holiday season? This month, Amazon announced a special for Amazon Vine. It's 50% off this month. It's usually $200 per ASIN to enroll your product in Amazon Vine, but it's only $100 through October 31st. So we have a couple more weeks. The Amazon Vine program, if you're not familiar with it, it's available to both Vendor Central and brand registered users. And you must currently have a product that has less than 30 reviews. And if you qualify in those scenarios, then you just have to agree to send 5 to 30 units to Vine reviewers, and they will review your product in return for you giving them your product for free. So this is really the only time that Amazon allows you to give a free product in return for a review. To do this, you have to go through their Amazon Vine program. One just word of caution is, don't just automatically expect you'll get all positive reviews. Vine reviewers oftentimes give positive reviews, but I have seen cases where they have not. And it's important that you just make sure that your product is ready to go to market. The images on your listing, that your listing's complete, the packaging is good to go, and that your product's thoroughly tested, because you don't want to send those 30 units in and then get 30 negative reviews. So if you're confident your product is, in a good spot, your listing's in a good spot, then I highly recommend to do the Amazon Bind program. So again, it's only half off this month. Another tip is to make sure that you have the Amazon gift messaging and gift wrap enabled in your Seller Central account on the items that are eligible. This is really for all year round because people buy birthday gifts and different holiday gifts all the time. But obviously during fourth quarter, it's a big holiday gift giving season. So people are more likely to purchase a gift and have it mailed to somebody if you have that gift message or gift wrap option selected. So you don't want them to choose your competitor or over you just because you don't have that option selected. FBA does offer gift wrapping at no extra cost. As long as the item qualifies. There are, of course, some categories that don't qualify, such as music or larger size, unusual size items. But again, by default, the gift options are not enabled for your account. So I recommend that you go into your main settings menu in Seller Central. It's super easy. You just use the little toggle button to turn the message or gift options on because by default it's off. So just enable those. And then once you do that, you just need to go into the Manage Inventory tool and also enable each product that you want available for gift messaging and gift wrap. Because there's nothing worse than like when you receive a gift in the mail from somebody from Amazon and there's no message, you have no idea who it's from. Well, if the person that you purchased that purchased it for you didn't select gift messaging, or the seller, I'm sorry, wasn't allowing that, then you receive a gift and you have no idea who it was from, so you don't know who to thank. So don't be in that position. Make sure that you have your gift messaging selected so that people are more likely to choose your product. And another tip is, since it is the gift giving season, if you're giving a gift, a toy to your niece or nephew, you don't know if you love it or not, or if they love it or not until they open it. So you might purchase it December 1st, but they might not open it till December 25th. So to ask for a review request on December 10th doesn't make sense because they don't know if they would give you a positive or a negative review. So just kind of think, logically that, mid-November, go ahead and adjust your review request timing to about 30 days out. 30 is the max you can do. So as you get closer to December 25th, then shorten that date so that your review request is going out that last week of December when the gift has most likely been received. So just adjust your timing. You don't want to be sending it 5 days out, when it's December 1st, because you're not likely to get a response on that for the review request. And then in January, once the holiday season's over, then certainly just set it back to business as usual. As far as timing goes, we usually recommend to really adjust your timing based on the product you're selling and how technical it is, or how long it takes for the buyer to actually see the value in it. So like vitamins, it might take 20 or 30 days till they see the value on if that vitamin is really working well, or if it's like an eye cream. Whereas everyday items, clothing, things like that, 5 days is plenty. Just at 5 days, send that review request. And this graph over on the right just shows that the first week of the year is when we see in our system in Feedback 5 the highest spike in reviews. And that's because everybody's received their gifts after the holidays, they're excited, or they've given their gift and they're likely to leave a review. So just put yourself in a good position there. And if you're not automating your review request, highly recommend to automate that. Nobody has time in fourth quarter. Everybody's crazy busy. There is the request a review button in Seller Central, which works great, but it's a manual process to go in and click that for all of your orders. So find a system like Feedback 5 to automate that and save yourself a lot of time and headache. And it will also help you to stay compliant with Amazon because that message comes directly from Amazon and they've optimized it. It has the one-click ratings, so it's very optimized for mobile and generates great response. So, can you still use buyer-seller messaging? People ask us that. Yes, you could choose to send your review request through buyer-seller messaging instead, especially if you're more interested in seller feedback. That's probably the way to go. The request a review message asks for a review first and feedback second. So in our system, Feedback 5, just to give you an idea, 77% of the sellers that use our tool are using the request a review message versus buyer-seller messaging. And that number continues to grow. More and more sellers are shifting to use the request a review message because they can set it and forget it and not have to worry about Amazon compliance because the message is sent directly through Amazon. And you simply just adjust some of your rules, the timing. You can exclude refunded orders and things like that. So the more that you can automate things, obviously, the better. And so in order to get started, if you're not using a tool right now to automate reviews, we do have a brand new plan that we launched last week called Fast Track for Feedback 5. And it's a way to get up and running very fast, automate that request to review button within just a few minutes. And you can also track up to 50 ASINs. So you can track reviews on your ASINs that you sell and your competitors and get a lot of detailed analytics. But more importantly, you'll be up and running with automated review requests within minutes, and you can easily adjust that timing as you get closer to the holidays. And then just my last couple tips there, I did mention, make sure you're looking at your own ASINs and your competing ASINs because you can learn a lot from reviews. And if you're struggling with negative reviews or a lot of returns, or you tend to have a product that gets returns, make sure that you're getting alerts on your negative reviews so you can be prepared to respond timely. Also, there's a company called hellotax that can help take a look at all of your negative reviews and determine if any of them we could file a claim for, or if they could file a claim for them and get them removed. Like if there's profanity in the review or things like that, they'll quickly scan through all of your reviews and see if there's any that they can get removed through a claim with Amazon. And then one other thing that I've been mentioning is onsitesupport.io. This is a partner of ours, Isaac, started this company, and it gives you access to the Get Product Support button. So if somebody goes back and looks at their orders and they're thinking about returning it because they don't know how to use it, there's a button that says Get Product Support, and it will allow them to click and find it, either chat live with an agent or go to some instructions on how to use it, go to like a help center or knowledge base that you can learn more. So that will help prevent returns or potentially negative reviews. So I just wanted to throw a good word out there about that. But yeah, happy to answer any questions that anybody might have. And but otherwise, I'll turn it over back to Nick.
Okay, thanks, Colleen. And that's perfect. Competitors, your competitors sometimes are your best teachers. You're not going to reinvent the wheel. You have a great tool, Colleen. So look at your reviews, look at your competitors, use this great tool so you can actually get feedback, because feedback is the most important thing. If you think that you're perfect and you know everything, then you're in trouble. You don't know anything, you can always get better. So, and of course, and like I said in the beginning, we're partners with Sarra Candy. I like their name. They rhyme with some ideas. And when actually we did the partner spotlight, I got this idea. Okay, Amazon sometimes make your wife sour, and what to do when it's sour? You get something sweet. So you get a candy, and I guess our partners here, Sarra Candy, they can help you out with that. So I'm gonna have John to introduce himself and what they do, and just take it from there. So thank you, John. Thank you for staying that late. Guys know the people who joined later, he's in Vietnam. It's the middle of the night, so he's sacrificing his sleep to actually help you out. So thank you again, John. Go ahead.
Oh, thanks for having me, Nick. And a pleasure to see all of your slides. Oh, they're all so nice. Mine are more basic. So I will ceremoniously fire our team. No. Sarra Candy. And what we're going to talk about is how to deal with issues that can ruin your Q4 performance. I'll do a bit of intro about me. Obviously, I live in Vietnam, although I spend a lot of time in Europe and traveling around as well. And our team is totally distributed. So we have 70 people in between Vietnam, Philippines, Europe, US, totally worldwide. Who are we? So at Sarra Candy, we give our clients the experience, the Seller Central experience they wish they'd always had. So we have our own portal, our clients log in, we give them expert assistance to get anything done in the back end of seller support that they hate doing. So we work with clients, agencies, aggregators, sellers, basically everyone. We take all of the stuff they don't want to do because it's too expensive and too time consuming, and they don't want to do it. And we all know who's in the way of getting done what we want to get done at Amazon. It's Dr. Jeff. I love this. I got this from The Economist. It's awesome. And all of his seller support issues, which are some of the nice reviews that you can get for seller support if you Google them. So what we're going to talk about today is how to, do things in your Amazon account, which will help you get better results in Q4. So number one really is to plug the holes. Like look for places where your business is leaking money, because there's no point piling a lot more into the top if you're leaking money out the bottom. So we always start looking for those areas. So start looking for first, sell support cases without resolution. So we all start dealing with things with Amazon and then give up because there's too many other things come up, and yeah, we just give up on getting to the resolution. So start making a list of those, look into any of them, look if any of them are actually things that could be getting you money back, like updating titles, updating bullets, changing images, things that Amazon's locked down that you gave up on updating. Look at any incorrect account settings. So go through your FBA settings, check that something silly like inventory placement isn't turned on if you didn't want it on, that there's nothing set up in FBA settings that shouldn't be there, and that, yeah, anything else isn't set up incorrectly. Check for your Amazon inventory losses and adjustments. So use a reimbursement service or do it yourself. We have a reimbursement service, but there's many out there. So looking for anything where Amazon has lost your inventory, it's fallen off the back of the truck, so they've lost it in FBA transfers, or any of the other 12 different ways in which Amazon can lose your stuff. Look at your suppressed ASINs. So if you've got a huge catalog and you've let one of your variations get suspended and haven't fixed it yet, go in, get that sorted out ASAP, because you want to get your momentum going back up for Q4. And just make sure that you're getting back where you should be. So getting back any money you should have from that in reimbursements. Sorry, it's like 1 o'clock in the morning here. My brain is not spitting out things as quickly as usual. Because you should be getting money back from Amazon, and usually that's 1 to 1.5% of your revenue. So if you're not doing reimbursements, do them now. You're losing on about 1%, and that's 1% off your top line. So that could be 3 to 5% of your profit, depending on your margins. So once you've got that time back, once you've done that, you should try and take back some of your time. So anything you're wasting time on dealing with these issues, dealing with busy work that you shouldn't be doing, and start working on your business, not in your business, so you can focus on growth, free up your headspace, and then zero in on what really matters and how you add value to your business. So some of us really like the operations, that's where we add value. Some of us like the vision and the new products. Some of us like the logistics if you're crazy. Some of us like the PPC and the marketing, but focus on what you like doing and you'll add more value to your business. So before you even start trying to outsource some of this stuff, we think, well, our ethos at Seller Candy is to build a team of services that can support you, so that if you have an employee that has issues, you have someone to fall back on. So it could be, going to e-Commerce, using them for your PPC or for your management, going to hellotax, definitely not filing your own taxes, because if you screw them up, it's all very, very painful. And going to Colleen, making sure that you have all of your automated review follow-up set up, because I assume you don't want to be wasting your time pressing that button. And even if you hire somebody for $5 an hour to press that button, it's probably still going to be a lot cheaper to get Colleen to do it, because she can press a button faster than you. So when you're hiring, look for experience, skill, and drive. One of my big lessons, because I'm terrible at training, is to hire somebody who knows how to do the job already and has the right attitude to want to do it for you. So I don't want to train people from scratch. And if you're going into Q4, you want people to support your business, then hire somebody that knows what they're doing already and that can come in and really make an impact. So hire an expert you can afford. So in managing, give outcomes, not tasks. So I would like this to happen, not what's my next task? What's my next task? It's the quickest way to go insane. And let your employees audit your account and tell you what needs to be done. So I always think that, at an operational level, a good employee or a good team member should be able to tell you what needs to be done. And at a leadership level, they should have an ethos. So you're talking to someone how they should be telling you about their ethos on how the world works in their role and how things really happen. So that's we've been moving around a bit, but that would be how to take back some of your time, hire people, get some outsourced support, whether that's PPC, tasks, actually hire a full-time person, or hire Seller Candy, because we do all the crap you don't want to do. So we have a few more minutes, don't we? So just going to quickly dive into how to solve a listing suspension, because this is everyone's nightmare during Q4, is to get a suspension and be stuck with a lot of inventory as the time to sell the inventory passes by. So Seller Candy, we have a 4-step process for solving these type of issues. Number one, it's the long shot, but first raise a case to seller support and ask them why it got suspended. Then really dive in immediately into solving the issue. So our real ethos is to try and solve the issue without dealing with Amazon, because as soon as you start talking with support, you get stuck in a cycle quite often, which then takes days or sometimes weeks to get solved. So first, usually when you get a suspension, you get a notification. On that notification, hopefully it'll say you've got a product policy issue, an authenticity issue, IP complaint, product safety, hazmat. It'll say something, the reason it was taken down. And so take a screenshot of this slide. And these are the first action points that you should do if you get that. So it's product policy. You want to wipe your listing clean as possible. So if you're selling supplements like you, Nick, I'm sure you got some takedowns in the past for medical claims, things like that. Immediately remove any claim that could possibly be classified as medical. Any keyword Amazon might classify as that, and sanitize it to be as basic as possible. And to do that, you want to use a flat file, because Amazon will have locked your listing down. So to do that, you can either download the category listing report, which means you go into Amazon, you raise a case, say, please enable my category listing report, then download it, and then edit it, which is the quickest way to do it, and then re-upload it. So then you've got your feed file and you re-upload it. That was the fastest ever category listing report lesson. If it's authenticity, you basically just need to get your real, I can't stress this enough, real invoices, not ones you've made up, because Amazon will really hammer you if they find that out, and then send them to Amazon. If you have an IP violation, you reach out to the brand owner and you track all of your correspondence, especially if it's a illegitimate takedown, they won't respond to you, but if you've got enough correspondence, you can raise that to Amazon. If it's a product safety issue, you prepare a plan of action. And as always with Amazon, you admit fault, no matter what the fault was. It was my fault, because that's what they want to hear. And if it's hazmat, you either get your hazard sheet or you create an SDS exemption sheet. You just need to Google that. From there, if that doesn't work, the next option is to do a delete release. So if you haven't done it in 24 hours, even quicker than talking to Amazon is to delete your ASIN for 24 hours, wait again, and then re-upload it. That's the best way to get something back quickly. And if you're still having issues, then you just need to phone. So you've done your feed file upload. So you have a feed file upload number, you've raised a load of cases, you've got case IDs, and then phone and push through the system over and over again until you get through to the leadership team, and they will be able to help you, probably. Or at least they'll tell you they've helped you, and then you'll have to call them back again, which is kind of how it works. Any specific questions, please do type them in the chat. And since if we're allowed to do a shameless plug, Nick, can I do a shameless plug?
We're not in a hurry, no. We're not gonna cut you out. No. By the way, we have more than 1 hour, but this is just a surprise. You didn't know that. So
okay. Shameless plug is because what we do is like all of these seller support issues, what we do at Seller Candy is we deal with all the seller support issues and realize that we get a lot of questions from people that aren't qualified for our service yet, because, unless you're doing 25K a month, you're not going to find value from us because we're dealing with all the stuff you're doing as you scale. So we're creating a service called Ask Seller Candy, where our team members will answer any questions for you. So rather than asking a Facebook group or your friend or Amazon support, you can just ask us through our system and our team will respond to you and answer the question. It's launching in the next 3 or 4 weeks, and it's going to be something like $29 a month. But if you sign up before it goes live at sellercandy.com/ask, we'll give it you free for life. So free technical support from our technical team who are solving the stuff all the time. And that's my my shameless plug, sellercandy.com/ask for free support.
okay, that's great, John. Especially the last one. If you don't sign up, you guys are crazy, because Amazon are, I guess, famous. I would not say famous, infamous, that sometimes you cannot get in touch with them. So obviously, here is Amazon, but not Amazon with all the questions and obviously, you should sign up. As simple as that. If we're going to include that in the follow-up email, so wait for the email, watch the recording, give a like, If we suck, don't tell us. It's a secret. And you can sign up for all the giveaways. So before we start with the question, I'm quickly gonna go over the giveaways. Now, John just mentioned his, but we also have a giveaway from eComEngine 14-day trial of the new Feedback 5 fast tracked. I'll send the link in a follow-up email tomorrow to everybody. From e-Comas, you guys are gonna get, just to remind you again, a free 30-minute audit of your Amazon account. And I'm gonna send you the details how to claim that. And from hellotax, if you would like to get the VAT, we're gonna give you the VATs for free. I'm gonna send you details again after the webinar how to claim that. And the last but not the least, if any of you guys is a service provider, you can get in touch with Extreme Power Brands and they can do an audit on your partnership and they'll tell you if you suck or not. If you suck, they can help out, as simple as that. But let's start with the questions. So because we have plenty of those. So let me start with the first one. This is from Ekaterina. How can I build my brand visibly during Q4? I think this is for you, Sarah. Did you hear me?
Yes. How to build your brand visibility during Q4.
Exactly.
I think it's very important to build, first of all, your retail ready copies. I think it's very important to talk more about your products and details, have everything ready, your title, your images, your bullet points, your advanced content A+, and also to have your brand store, which actually it's your brand store. You can go from the byline, the brand byline under the title in every PDP, product detail page. If you click on that, it will lead you to the brand store of every brand. So it's very important that every brand, in order to build brand awareness, especially if it's not very popular in the maybe new market or a new continent, and not it's launched recently on Amazon, so doesn't have a huge actually traffic in there or sales velocity. So it's very important the brand store to be built very well because it represents your brand. It's like your mini website actually on Amazon. So there you will help to showcase your product ranges, your categories, your variety of colors, sizes, whatever the variation you have on your products and categories. And of course, it will show whatever you have discounts, your videos, lifestyle, and it will help more engage in a dynamic way the end consumer. So I think it's very important to have that done. And this is all regarding everything organic, your copy, your brand store. But with advertising, actually, you will leverage this. So we'll create sponsored campaigns and sponsored brand campaigns, especially to help more your brand awareness, where you can target, promote these products by redirecting into your brand store. So here you can actually have pages talking about us or about you as a brand, talking about when you were founded, what you are selling, if you care about sustainability, anything that can help actually talk more about your brand to the end consumer. And by, of course, paying that placement for that specific ad you are promoting and guiding the end consumer to your brand page, that will give them more possibility and opportunity to know your brand very well and to get into maybe buying not just one product, but into cross-selling, to buy many products from different categories you have in the brand store. So I think this is the first steps to do. Make sure you have a good copy, retail-ready copy. Make sure you run advertising campaigns, at least start with the basic campaigns, automatic campaigns, then you go into manual and more complex setup based on your budget, of course, and build more awareness about this. I think social media as well is very, very important to go off Amazon. But of course, any traffic you bring from your Instagram page, your LinkedIn page, your Facebook page, your Shopify, it will be very helpful in bringing any outside traffic to your Amazon. And this is, of course, you're building more traffic and awareness towards your product and helping you sell more. So I hope I answered the question. Thank you.
I think you more than answered the question. So let's continue with the next one. So the next one is, I think it's from Colleen. That's from Marcel. Do you have any tips on how sellers can get more reviews in Q4? I guess very important question.
Yeah, so I shared some tips certainly in the presentation. One other tip that I didn't mention is really just to do some A/B testing. You know, A/B testing is a common term in marketing for those of us who do email marketing. But what we recommend is you can A/B test the timing of your message or the subject line of your message if you're doing buyer seller messaging, and see which one is opened more often or gets responded to more often in that review request. Another way you can do an A/B test is, half of your orders send the request a review button message and the other half do buyer seller messaging, your custom message. In order to do this, you do have to have a pretty good system in place to make sure that you only ask for that review once per order. So what we recommend is, like for version A, do all of your orders that end in an odd number, send version A. All of your orders that end in an even number, send version B. And make sure that you keep that test running for a good 2 weeks or so, depending on your volume, so that you have enough data to determine which works better. So the sooner you can kind of do that A/B test is figure out which message is converting better for you and what timing is converting better for you. Doing that now can help you set you up for success in November and December.
Okay, thanks, Colleen. And see again, ABC testing. So you should always be testing, not making assumption, use the numbers, use the data and make decision based on that. So, okay, so let me go to the next question. Just give me a second. Okay, so the next one, it's Amazon keeps reselling my returned products. How do I stop them? That's from Omar. Amazon keeps reselling my returned products. How do I stop them? I'm not sure who's that. I think it should be for you, John.
Oh, I guess I can answer that question. It really depends why they're reselling them. Are they reselling them as warehouse deals, or are they, they're reselling them in some other way? If they're warehouse deals, it's difficult to stop them. I mean, you can buy them out and then keep them yourself to play with. If something else is happening, then you can use our reimbursement service or anyone's reimbursement service to claim back these units at full price. It really depends on where the inventory is going. So I'm sorry, my answer's not better than that, but you can ask Seller Candy in 3 weeks if you can wait that long.
Okay, guys. And just sign up to get it free, and then you can ask your questions in 3 weeks. So,
but no, sorry, that's a joke, but I don't actually know. Does anyone else have a good idea of better than that?
If I might add here to what John was saying, in fact, if Amazon selling your product, if it's not 1P like through the vendor account, it should be only through Amazon warehouse deals. And in fact, anytime Amazon sells your returned product through Amazon warehouse deal, it should be already reimbursed you. If it's actually something just damaged on the way, or so it's not really taking the product from the seller. More or less, is it actually reimbursed the seller? And if it's just in their warehouse, taking a place, they put a discount and resell it. And whenever they do this, also like it happened many cases, and we go and see, and the buy box will be taken actually for that offer by the Amazon warehouse deal because they have a lower price. It's just really like few minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, not more. Sorry. So it's not really something to fear about losing your offer or a buy box for a long time. It's just a matter of maybe they have a few products and they just selling them after reimbursing you. So I would advise actually to maybe take a screenshot or take the link of that specific offer and open a case, as like John can help here. And also e-Comas, we can help here because we do also troubleshooting for all our customers on Amazon account, seller and vendor. So you just open a case, talk to Amazon and tell them why Amazon warehouse is actually selling my product with this discounted price, and then see what's the reference, because they have in the backend, they can go and see what was the reference of that product and what was the order and what was the reason of the return the product, if it was damaged or if it was because of FBA, So yeah.
Okay, see guys, now we have 3 guys who can actually shut down your issues on Amazon, see? So let's go to the next question. Thanks, Sarah. So next question is, okay, would it be a good idea if I increase my product price in Q4? I think that's again for you, Sarah.
I think this will not be the great idea to do it during Q4. So we will not really advise, especially during or ahead of peak seasons, because Amazon system is very price sensitive, the algorithm. So if you increase your prices just ahead, you might lose some momentum on the traffic, and on Amazon, actually, the algorithm pushing your products organically, you might lose some sales rank and sales velocity. So the best way is actually to be, whatever your strategy on increasing your prices, if it's a cost price for a vendor account, or if it's just your listing price for a seller account, it would be better that you have a good margin and building your momentum with the new price just with the time, like quite ahead you're at the peak event. Otherwise it will harm the visibility and the traffic coming your product if your price is very much far from the competitors and similar products prices on Amazon.
Okay, so just to summarize, guys, if it works, don't fix it. People have said that a long time ago. So don't play tricks in Q4. I mean, you can do that in Q1, Q2, not in Q4. So let's go with the next question. So next question is actually that's for me. Okay, from Hernando. Okay, Hernando, why do you recommend Germany is a good market to start in Europe? Okay, I mean, I think I mentioned that, but let's just summarize. Like, second biggest market after Amazon.com in the USA. After Brexit, everybody who is selling in Europe, they go to Germany. That's what we see on our end. If you're an English speaker, no translation. If you're a US company, you get the VAT quicker because there's a specific tax authority which deals with the VAT in Germany. And the other thing is is the location of Germany is in the center of Europe, meaning it's the perfect dispatch spot if you want to expand in Europe. So that's more than enough reasons. And of course, you get the VAT pretty quickly. There is nothing special there. They don't have fiscal representation, which is always very good to know. I did not mention that earlier, but some countries require fiscal representation, which is like an insurance that you're going to pay the VAT. And you don't need to do that in Germany. So that's another reason why you should choose that. So I think that's pretty much why. I mean, I think these are enough reasons that you should consider them. So we have a few more questions, by the way. The next one is from Candy. Okay, Shlif, that's fine. Okay, I think this is for you. Candy asking for a question for Sarah. Candy. So my listing got suspended because of suspended hazmat. How do I get it back?
Because of hazmat. Well, as long as there's not a unique issue, which it can always be, they're probably asking for a safety data safety sheet, an SDS sheet, basically, for the product. It may or may not require one, so it's up to you or your supplier or whatever you know about your product, whether it needs a data safety sheet or a SDS exemption sheet. It could be because it's in the wrong category, so you just need to dive in, check. Maybe it's been put in a category that always requires, hazmat, but reality is the product isn't hazmat. So yeah, just making your case to seller support, providing the documentation, telling them where it should be, and usually that gets you out of the hole. Okay. The other option is sign up for Ask Seller Candy for free, then you can ask them. You probably need actual Seller Candy if you want us to create you data safety data SDS exemption sheets. So yeah, but, I didn't know that, but still, you should start with that. Yeah, start with that. It's not launched yet, but wait 3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks. Don't worry about it. Your product will come back eventually. Then ask us the question. Yeah. Okay, guys, and we have the last question. Unless of course somebody can raise hand at the last minute. How should Amazon sellers approach their review strategy during the holiday season? Is there anything they should do differently? I think that's a great question that we can actually end the webinar. So that's for you, Colleen.
Yeah, and I talked a little bit about that in the presentation, different things you can do in terms of adjusting the timing of your messages. So it arrives in their inbox after the gift is received. Also, just make sure that you're monitoring your ASINs, the reviews on your ASINs, responding to any negative reviews, because a few negative reviews can really damage your sales for the holiday season. So make sure that you're on top of those. Keep an eye on your competitor ASINs. If you're seeing things that people are saying in your reviews right now, that maybe you could make a few tweaks to your listing to clarify things to help reduce returns, do that now. But, you're going to have a lot of sales, hopefully, and a lot of orders during the holiday season, but don't forget to keep a close eye on those reviews because, yeah, a couple bad reviews can really damage your sales the rest of the Q4. So make sure you have a good system in place to receive alerts and that you have a process in place to respond to those. In Amazon Seller Central, you can respond to negative reviews as long as you are brand registered. And they have a couple different templates that you can use, either to just simply ask for a courtesy, response as to why they're giving you the negative review so you can learn more. And then another option is to offer a replacement or refund. So when I say have a process in place, like Amazon really already has the process there in Seller Central, but you need to make sure you have a team member that owns that for your company, so that they're responding, very, very quickly.
Okay. So thanks a lot, Colleen. So I think we have no more questions, so we're done, guys. So it was actually a very good event. We missed Ryan. Like I said, he's sick. He lost his voice, so he couldn't join. But you're gonna see him in one of the next events, probably in December. So thank you again, Sarah. I'm happy that you actually joined our webinar. Last time we had it with Jerome, but you're actually a great speaker. So I hope to see you in more events, Colleen. I know we know that you're great. You've been to a lot of events, so great tips for Q4. And thank you, John. Great tips. And guys, you know what to do. You're gonna get the email with the giveaways from each speakers tomorrow. Just check them out, check the recording. We're gonna have a breakdown about each section. So if you don't wanna watch the boring tax guy, you can watch the other guys. They're more cool. So check it out, and check out our next events in November and December. And if we don't see each other, enjoy the rest of Q4, make a lot of sales, and then you can have a nice vacation in December. So bye, guys.
Thank you.
Have a great Q4.